Welcome to Sharkie's Gaming Replicas and Collectibles. I'm Sharkie, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at Uncharted 4, A Thief's End Libertalia Collector's Edition for PlayStation 4. So this is a pretty cool collector's edition, but as always, first off, let's take a look at this packaging. So it's got Uncharted 4 logo at the top here. It's got this cool looking medallion type of thing in the center, and it looks like an old map kind of background. Looks pretty nice. The top of the box is pretty plain, again just with that kind of map texture and the PS4 logo. The sides of the box are also quite plain with just the logo. But the back has a little bit more details. So as you can see, that's got some images and screenshots. So just at the top there, it's got some nice screenshots there from the game. Of course, it's got a nice image there of Nathan Drake. And down here it also shows you the contents of this collector's edition. So once you pull out everything from the box, this is what you get. Now please note you would also get a steelbook case with the game Uncharted 4. I don't have that with this edition because I just bought it for the statue because I already had the game. But usually if you would buy this collector's edition, you should also get the steelbook as well. But the other things that you get, of course, you get this amazing statue, which is pretty much the reason that you want this collector's edition. And this is made by Gentle Giant, and of course it's of Nathan Drake. This is a 12-inch or 30-centimeter statue, and it is a pretty awesome statue. But before we go into the statue, let's have a look at what else it comes with. So first off, you've got some controls here, and this also has all the digital voucher codes of all your bonus digital content. Then of course you get a few sticker sheets. There's different symbols and insignia on these. And you also get two Naughty Dog stickers. One's like a metallic silver on black, and the other's more just a black on white. You also get this art book, The Art of Uncharted 4, A Thief's End. And this goes into some artwork from the game. Nate and Sam. Some cool character art there. Hector. Jameson. Elena. Sully. Nadine. Some cool location art there. Some more cool landscapes. Some cool character art. Some cool locations there again. Cassie. And that's the end. So it's a pretty cool art book with some nice artwork inside of it. So if you like art books, then this is kind of cool. Now, of course, the statue is the main reason to actually get this edition, so why don't we have a look at that now? So let's take a look at this Nathan Drake statue. Now, the statue is pretty cool. It's made by Gentle Giant, and it's very big, 30 centimeters or 12 inches. So it's a really nice size. And because it's made by Gentle Giant, there's a lot of detail in this statue. The biggest downside though, and you'll be able to see it as I rotate this around, is that the statue has a bit of a lean. And this is basically because it's in a dynamic pose. It's mostly supported by just that one leg. And I kind of wish video game statues would, stop doing this. Like, they keep developing them and putting them in this kind of dynamic movement pose, instead of just posing them with both legs firmly planted on the ground. And what happens? Well, the weight of the statue after time, especially if you got this on display, will start to kind of drift to one side and lean. Now the one I have here is not too bad. It only leans slightly. I have seen some people's statues are leaning way worse or are completely broken. So it's one of the biggest down points with these type of statues. But it is a pretty cool statue. I mean, if you can look past the fact that it leans to one side, it's a pretty cool statue, and there's a lot of nice detail to be had. right from, you know, the clothes to the ground it stands on, to the way his pants look a little bit wet, like he's walked through a lake or, you know, splashed through a puddle or something. He's got mud and dirt all over him. You know, he's got some wounds and like looks like dirt on his arms and his holster. It looks really nice. They put a lot of nice detail in here. It'd just be unfortunate that the fact that it's leans, you know? It would have been so nice if it had been staying upright, or maybe even make Nathan Drake stand on both his legs, you know, and pose him like that. It wouldn't have been too hard, and it may have actually looked better in the long run if they had done that. But, you know, looking aside from the lean, it's a really awesome statue. So let's have a closer look at some of these details. So starting with Nathan Drake's face here, it looks really cool. They've got really nice details, especially in his hair there. You can see all the strands and details they've put in the hair. His face there, he's got like a cut on his neck there. He's got like dirt smudges on his face and his arms here. He's got more cuts and things on his arm there. He's about to draw his pistol from his holster there. You can see the detail on even the watch. Another wound. You can see on his back here, it looks like it's got like dirt and everything. And of course you've got these nice kind of clasps of the holster there. Looks really posh. Going down you start to see like the folds and the shirt and the pants. The belt buckle, you know, some dirt again in the shirt there. The creases in his pants. Pocket detail. He's got a pouch in the back here. It looks really cool. And down the bottom here, the bottom half of his pants look like they kind of walked through something like wet, like a puddle or a lake, or, you know, just got the bottom half of his pants wet. It's a really nice touch and nice detail. Even his shoes have a bit of detail there. It looks really posh. And of course the stand here, it's got like a plant, which is really nicely coloured. And the base itself kind of looks like muddy ground. You can see the texture there. There's rocks and leaves. It looks like kind of muddy, wet ground. It looks really posh. Very nice detail in there, especially around the edges of the stand. And that's the bottom of the stand there, just very plain with some kind of felt feet there. And the stand itself, like the base, is quite light. It's just hollow plastic here. But it feels quite nice quality. In terms of like the overall build, it's quite nice. The only downside, like I say, is that lean. And the reason it does that is because all the weight of the statue is onto this leg here. So when he's standing upright, all the weight's on this leg. So after a time, the whole thing starts to lean, because this leg is not really touching. Right here, there's no contact point. So yeah, it's just unfortunate fact that that they didn't design it with both legs firmly planted, because then this lean would not happen. And it's a thing that happens with a lot of video game statues, and it's just because they keep putting them in dynamic poses. And I know dynamic poses can be cool, but you know, when you know this is a problem and you know that statues lean constantly, you would think they would, you know, have a think about it and say, hey, we should probably just make it firmly planted or a different pose completely. There's so many poses they could put Nathan Drake in that would make a really cool statue, and they decide to do a dynamic one like this where everything is supported by one leg, and what ends up happening, well, it leans. So that is definitely the biggest downside of the statue. So definitely, if you have the statue or you want to get the statue, definitely get one and leave it in the box. You do not want to display this, because after a while of displaying it, this is what's going to happen. But other than that, it's a pretty cool statue. I really like the detail, and I do think it captures Nathan Drake very well. It looks really nice. The detail is incredible. Gentle Giant are known for their statues and their great detail, and yeah, they've definitely added that to the statue. It's just that lean. The lean just takes away from it. And you can see the lean probably the worst right there, and how far he leans over to one side. It's just such a shame, because it's such a nice statue otherwise. So that was the Uncharted 4 Libertalia Collector's Edition. It's quite a cool collector's edition, and of course the main reason being is the statue. The statue of Nathan Drake looks amazing. The detail they've added, from like the dirt to the folds in the fabric there, right down to the way his pants look damp, it just looks really cool, and it looks like Nathan Drake. You would look at the statue and say, yep, that's Nathan Drake. It definitely has a really good likeness, and I really like the detail. So overall, it's a pretty cool looking statue. But of course, there is also a flaw with the statue in being that it starts to lean over time. Because of that dynamic pose, the weight is just not supported. This whole weight here, supported by one leg, it's just not enough support. Basically, that means the statue is going to lean over time. So usually I would say put this on your shelf, it looks amazing, and it really does look amazing. The problem is that if you do that, it may lean worse. So if you are going to display this, just be wary of putting it on your shelf, because over time the statue will probably lean. And on the net, I've seen some people even have broken statues where it's sort of broken at the leg point somewhere around here. So it's something to be wary of. I used to have this on display, and when I noticed it start to lean a little bit more, I decided to put it back in its box. So far, it hasn't gotten worse. Hopefully, having it in its secure packaging will be enough to stop it sort of leaning long term. But it's a flaw in the design of the statue. So even if you take really good care of it, you know, it may still have a slight lean. Mine still has a slight lean. At least it's not too bad. But yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment in that fact. But the thing is, this is a very common issue across video game statues. Just they keep putting it in these dynamic poses, and these dynamic poses just aren't enough to support the statue. It would have been so much better if they had just put both feet down and made Nathan Drake stand up straight. It would look really cool, and of course you wouldn't have this problem of it leaning. But yeah, overall I still think this collector's edition is pretty cool. But if you're looking at buying this now, just be cautious if you're buying on eBay, because of course a lot of these statues probably have a lean like this, and you probably want to try to find one with as little lean as possible. So it's just something to keep an eye out. But overall, it's a pretty cool thing. I like it. I do. I like Uncharted series, and I like Nathan Drake. I think it's a really cool character, and the statue is pretty cool. So you guys, if you like this video, hit that like button, as it really helps out a lot. Feel free to subscribe, as I'll heaps more gaming replicas and collectibles up very shortly. While you're there, hit that notification button, and of course share this video with your friends. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.